and I'll never touch it again. Guys, if you set yourself up for success, you start flipping correctly and making money as a flipper and plowing that money into rental properties for the rest of your life, guys, you'll be set within 10 years. Hey guys, Mark McMahon Real Estate. Today I want to dive into Flip Math 101 because there's a lot of people out there that talk about flipping and how much money they're making, and a lot of it's crap, guys. A lot of it isn't the truth. If you look at some of the numbers that they give out, they don't put a lot of the costs in on flips that are real. And I want you guys to understand this because I see so many new investors buying properties based on a lot of these fake gurus out there that are using numbers that don't make any sense, right? They're not putting in all of the costs that are involved in flipping houses. All right, guys, let's dig right in. So when you're buying a house, obviously you've got to buy it right. But what we're going to do is we're going to start at the beginning, right? At the purchase price, and we're going to go all the way through all of our expenses, what it's going to cost to sell it, and how much our profit should be on a flip. Now, this doesn't have anything to do with wholesaling. Doesn't have anything to do with buy and hold. This is strictly for flipping, right? This is for your JOB, which is flipping. Once you make money with the flips, you'll plow that money right back into rentals so that you can have income coming in for the rest of your life. But anyway, let's go over Flip Math 101. Well, we're going to use a purchase price of $300,000 and an after repair value or ARV of $450,000. Now, this is what the house would sell for after it's completely fixed up. This is what we're buying it for before it's fixed up. So that's going to leave us $150,000 for all of our expenses and our profit. All right. Anybody out there that watches HGTV or Discovery Channel and you watch the flipping shows, there's not as many as there used to be, but there still are some out there. They would lead you to believe, for the most part, that this is what it looks like when you do a flip. So let's go over the HGTV or the TV show flips, and we'll kind of get an idea of exactly how they figure out their profits and how they kind of portray that to the audience. So they're buying the same house for $300,000, still the same $450,000 ARV. So that leaves, again, the $150,000 spread, or the amount of money that's between these two numbers. All right, so the repairs are $75,000. HGTV would have you believe, or lead you to believe, that the profit on that would be $75,000. Done, right? Makes flipping look really, really sexy. It makes it look really simple. The problem is, guys, they're not putting in all the numbers that you're actually going to run into. I see this day in and day out. People will DM me, they will email me their deals and say, look, do you think this one's going to make money? And it takes like 10 seconds to see that, no, this is not a winner. And they don't believe me because they've been watching HGTV to learn how to flip rather than someone that actually knows what they're doing. Unfortunately, a lot of people get burned doing that, but they're burning themselves. They're buying into reality TV. So let's take a look at what it really looks like, what the numbers really look like. The stupid reality of flipping is this. This is your purchase price. This is your rehab, $75,000. Now we're going to get into all those little annoying costs that pop up on every single flip that you'll ever do. All right, so pay attention, take a screenshot so you'll know when you start analyzing flips that this is what you've got to look for. This is what you got to look at as far as your costs go. All right, so we've got $75,000 for the rehab, and now we got to look at all the little numbers, right? We got $3,000 for holding. What does that include? Utilities, guys. You got to pay for utilities when you're flipping a property. Taxes. Property taxes never sleep, right? You're going to be paying property taxes on this property the whole time you own it. This is probably even a little light because you may have to have a porta potty. You may have to have a construction fence. You may have other costs like security, things like that I don't have in here. We don't really have those on our properties, but you may have that. All right. We've got closing costs, guys. When you buy this house, just to begin with, when you buy this house, you're going to have to come up with about 1% out of pocket for closing costs, for escrow fees and title and things like that. These are just some little costs here, but I'll tell you what, it really eats into the bottom line profit. All right. So we're going to have to borrow this entire amount in order to do this flip, unless you're blessed to have that much cash. I never suggest you use your own money for flipping. I always use hard money or private money. Actually, I always use private money, but when you're starting, you may have to use hard money. But I would get on board with raising private money right away if you're going to get into this game. All right, so the total borrowed is $381,000. About 10% interest only is what you're going to expect to pay. You'll probably pay some points too, but I'm trying to keep this simple. So 10% of $381,000 over 6 months comes to $19,000. And 6 months is about what you want to put in there for a flip. It's going to take you probably 3 to 4 months to do the construction and another couple of months to sell it and close it. All right, so $19,000 in interest. We have a selling cost, right? So we've got to list that house and we're going to pay our real estate agents. So on this one, I made it pretty low, 4%. So 2% to the agent that brings the buyer, 2% to the agent that lists it. Now, I list all my own houses because I'm a real estate agent, so I'm going to be saving probably around 2% on this myself. But every once in a while, if I'm way out of the area, I might list it. So it's pretty realistic. Typically, most real estate agents work for about 5% split, 2.5 and 2.5, but I kept it low just to give us a little bit better profit margin. All right, closing costs of 1%. Yes, you're going to pay those again, guys. It's just recurring things, the recurring costs that you're going to have to deal with as a flipper. There may be some other expenses in your area I don't know about, but figure about $5,000 in closing costs. Could be up to $10,000. 2% is probably a better number, but again, I'm trying to keep it simple. So that's a total of $423,000. So $450 minus $423 leaves $27,000. Guys, no deal. I wouldn't do this one. It's too light. And I know there's going to be some extra expenses in here. So is this a good flip? It is not. But a lot of people would lead you to believe that it's an excellent flip. But we know now that these are not the real numbers, and you guys don't want to make this mistake. I see it over and over and over, people getting into flipping using these numbers. They're very simple, right? Man, life would be good if this was the case. But it looks more like this, and you'll actually probably have a few other little expenses in there that aren't on here because of where you live, the city, the county, the state. This is no deal. I wouldn't do it. That's way too much exposure, right, for my investors and for me to make this kind of money. Now, you might think, Mark, $27,000 is a crap load of money and I would do this in a heartbeat for 27 grand. I'm telling you right now, one little hiccup in the market and that $27,000 is going to be erased. I want to see at least $75,000 there before I even look at a deal like this. Closer to 100 would be better, but $75,000. And of course, I understand, Mark, I'm never going to find a deal if that's the case. Well, you're better off not finding a deal, and trust me, you will find deals if you spend enough time looking, but you're better off not doing a deal than losing money on one, because you'll only do that once, and then you'll go back to your corporate job and say, stupid real estate is the dumbest thing I ever did, and I'll never touch it again. Guys, if you set yourself up for success, you start flipping correctly and making money as a flipper and plowing that money into rental properties for the rest of your life, guys, you'll be set within 10 years. That's the way the game's played. All right, hope you got a lot out of this. Again, please like the video. Please sign up for notifications and subscribe to our channel. We love to see that. Guys, appreciate you being here, and I'll see you next time.